team? Jujubear here, welcome back to the channel. We're just going to be jumping into a quick match here in Total War Rome 2. And it's going to be one that was submitted to me by Bobi. Now, apparently he's brought a pretty funny build as the Parthian. So, he is a big fan of his OP Parthian builds. So he will be bringing the OPness, apparently. And we'll see if it pays off in this match here. So this is going to be his army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 6 of these Eastern Cataphracts, Noble Horse Archer, 4 Mercenary Scythian Horse Archers, and a shit ton of skirmishers. Now it is a 2v2. It's an all Ziva affair. So we're gonna have. Let me see here. So Helvetian Slayer is gonna be Bobi's teammate, playing as Egypt. So he's certainly picked a pretty tough faction to play there. Not only that, but 9th Legion, who is on this team, has picked the Macedonians. And we've also got Hazard, also from the Ziva clan. He's going to be playing as Colchis. So we'll see how this works out here. Let's just jump over here and check out the build. So Sarmatian Horse Archers, my mistake. So we got 2 on each flank, Persian Light Archers, and Parthian Foot Archers. So we got 2 of each, and we've also got a line of Eastern Slingers. So lots of skirmishes and lots of cav. Not a single bit of infantry there from Bobi. So very interesting to see. Whereas we've got Helvetian Slayer over here, who's going to be bringing a fair bit of infantry himself. So Egyptian infantry out in the flanks. Very interesting to see those guys being brought. So just one over here in the center. We've got Levithorea Spears and Nubian Spearmen. Wow, you don't really see these units too often. Royal Thorax Swordsman. Whoa, you do not see that unit brought very often at all. You got a couple of Galatian Swordsmen in the center, 2 Galatian Royal Guards split apart, 2 Galatian Swordsmen on the flank, along with Citizen Cav, Camel Spearmen. Up the back is a Ptolemaic Cav, Bay, hidden in the woods. We've also got Egyptian Slingers, 3 of them, and then same Cav over on this side. So, let's have a look at old mate 9th Legion's army here. Thessalians, as you'd expect. He's got 2 over here hidden in the woods. They're not going to take too much damage. They don't have a shield, so no missile block chance. So 4 of them. Royal Peltas, 2 of them. Yes, love it. 2 mercenary Cretans and 2 normal archers. We got a line of Thorax Swordsmen at the front and a Militian Hoplite over there for good measure. Eastern Spearmen, Horse Archers out in the flank for old mate Hazard. We've got Noble Blood Cav. We got Eastern Spearmen, more of them. Axemen in the center, good stuff. Cartley up the back. And a couple of Colchian nobles up the back there as well. And the general is going to be a Colchian noble also. So this is probably the best vantage spot that we're going to have for the rest of this battle. Don't want to miss out on too much of the strategic movements on the battlefield. Especially because it is a 2v2. And look how far the armies are spread out here. So straight off the bat we have Eastern Spearmen up against Nubian Spearmen. Don't know who's going to win that actually. Eastern Spearmen are pretty rubbish, so they'll probably end up losing that. Yeah, it looks like it's going that way. We do have a bit of a push here by old mate 9th Legion from who's brought the Macedonians. And we'll see how that pays off, because Bobi's army doesn't really have any substance that is going to be approachable with all this infantry here. So my guess is that Bobi's probably just going to be kiting backwards as much as he can, because a lot of these units are still hidden. Wow, Bobi's brought a couple of these Persian Light Archers and Parthian Foot Archers around the flank, right around the flank. He's going to start to fire probably into the backs of a lot of these units. So not a bad idea at all. We do have a bit more of an engagement happening out in this flank. These guys just going at it. We've got a Colchian Noble coming into the fight against these Galatian Swordsmen and Nubian Spearmen. We do have another Levithorea Spears coming around the flank. There's going to be a Galatian Royal Guard being peeled off by Helvetian Slayer just to kind of match up with this Colchian Noble. Citizen Gav being taken out of the fight just in time for these Eastern Spearmen to get destroyed by these Galatian Swordsmen. So the initial engagement's going pretty well for Helvetian Slayer here. The Colchian Noble is going to get absolutely crushed by this Galatian Royal Guard. Not bad at all. Now the Horse Archers are starting to push up. A lot of the units left in the back from... I keep forgetting who's playing who. From Hazard there. A big push. We've got a Eastern Spearman being peeled off. I guess he kind of realizes that his teammate's going to be needing a couple of extra units over here. And look at this. An absolute surround happening by Bobi here. Just being able to fire on these archers from about 2 or 3 different angles here. Ridiculous amounts of fire coming in there. Absolutely obliterated. Noble Blood Cav coming in here to help out. Helvetian Slayer is going to have to want to intercept these guys just to avoid them getting into the back lines. Not to say that the Egyptian players brought too many expensive slingers, but over here the general's probably going to be having a tough time. 128 men down. The Galatian Royal Guard are doing quite well. They are being shot in the back by their own Levi Thorea Spear friends here. We do have an engagement here. Nice rear charge coming in here from the Eastern Cataphracts, knocking down a lot of these Thorea Spears. But they are taking a couple of shots from these mercenary Cretan archers for their trouble. And they're going to get held down momentarily by these Thessalian Cav. So probably not a great engagement for either player here. Oh, Galatian Royal Guard have just joined the fight. So they're going to do quite well. But yeah, look at this arc of units from Bobi. He is defending his skirmishes with a couple of these Eastern Cataphracts. So it's probably not going to be advisable for old mate to push up. The Macedonian players being a little bit careful here. But oh man, there's just no chance. He's just been outmatched. Not outmatched, but outpicked. The pick kind of went against him in the first place because he just didn't have the cav to be able to stand up to this kind of Parthian army here. So out on the other flank, Hazard's actually doing quite well with his Colchian build. He's kept back a couple of different units, and these Camel Spearmen are going to get held down by this Noble Cav and finished off by a number of these Kartli Axemen and Axemen. Pretty funny engagements so far. Ptolemaic Cav being brought out of the woods. Oh man, this is going to be a beautiful charge coming in here. Smashing into a number of these Axemen. Absolutely bowling down these Axemen here. And these Horse Archers, I guess, have just joined the fight to hopefully hold down those Ptolemaic Cav while the rest of the infantry does some damage on them. Good shit. Eastern Spearmen being taken out of the fight. These Noble Blood Cav got a pretty decent charge into these Levi Thorea Spears. And all of a sudden, yeah, Hazard looked like he has a bit of an advantage here. Just kind of exploding into the backlines of Helvetian Slayer, destroying a couple of these Egyptian slinger units. He does have a couple of these Horse Archers as well, which are going to be very useful against that Ptolemaic Cav. But look at this, Bobi just absolutely destroying a lot of different units over here. He didn't get the best charge against these Thessalian Cav, whereas the Thessalian Cav got a great charge themselves. And these slingers, Cretan archers are getting some excellent shots in here. They are undefended, however. And they're just going to get shot in the back by these Sarmatian Horse Archers, who are going to refuse them the time to shoot into this engagement here. Nice jab toss there from the Thorax Swordsman. These Thorax Swordsmen are just absolutely surrounded by Eastern Slingers, Parthian Foot Archers, holy moly, Persian Light Archers, you name it. Yeah, Parthia do have some excellent tools for when it comes to skirmishing here. The Royal Peltas as well, I think they probably went the right pick just because they don't have the best missile block chance or the best armor here. We do have these Noble Blood Cav chasing out these Ptolemaic Cav. They're going to be able to finish those guys off in that fight. And we just got a couple of Egyptian slingers and a few Galatian Royal Guard around the place that are kind of being picked off at this point. There's a Galatian Royal Guard over here that's done quite well so far. But very spread out this battle has become. There is a Thessalian Cav right up the back for old mate 9th Legion. Got 29 back there. These Galatian Royal Guard eventually being picked off by these Colchian Nobles and the Horse Archers. And we got a valiant effort from these Camel Spearmen. Not the best army you'll ever see. I mean, the Egyptians are already quite hard, difficult to play as. And it looks like Helvetian Slayers brought a pretty funny army here. I guess he was probably just trying to try out some interesting tactics or different armies or whatever. I know I kind of get like that sometimes, where I just want to fuck around and bring some units to the battlefield that I haven't really brought before. Like these Royal Peltas, you don't really see them being brought too often because they're so expensive and they do have some very obvious weaknesses. And of course, Bobi was able to capitalize on that with this absolute horde of Eastern Slingers and Persian Light Archers. Look at this. Even the Eastern Cataphracts, like a good charge from these guys, super heavy shock cavalry, can absolutely obliterate a unit like a Royal Peltas. So there's an absolute killing field happening here. Eastern Cataphracts, Galatian Royal Guard, Royal Peltas, a couple of very expensive units being thrown to the fight, and look who's just joined the party. These Colchian Nobles have just joined as well. So some very expensive units being thrown into this battle here. The fight's not going to go too well for these Eastern Cataphracts if they stick around for a little bit longer. They do still have 80 men left, and they got 200 kills. Oh my god. 200 kills for no deaths. Double XP chevrons. Insane stuff, Bobi. Stop it. Stop it. What have we got here? Thorea Spears. Finishing off these Levi Thorea Spears, I suppose. So yeah, what looked like a good start from Helvetian Slayer turned out to be a bit of a turnaround. I suppose at some point it had to happen, just because he was bringing funny units that don't really tend to be picked too much. They're pretty underpowered. But Bobi's going to have to pull away from this engagement. He's got Noble Blood Cav. These Noble Blood Cav are going to be able to get into these Eastern Slingers unopposed. They do take a charge, kind of a little bit of a charge from these Eastern Cataphracts, though these Kartli Axemen are going to be able to get into those units. And Bobi's got a couple of Horse Archers left up the back who can swing around and make their presence known for sure. They get a couple of shots in here into the back of these Kartli Axemen. They may be able to finish them off fairly quickly. These Axemen struggling up against the Eastern Cataphracts, so Eastern Cataphracts used to great effect from Bobi. I don't even think he needs to get a charge in here to finish those Eastern Spearmen off. Here we go. Nice downhill charge coming in here into these Kartli Axemen. You can wave goodbye to them. And they're getting shot in the back by these Horse Archers and Eastern Slingers. Eastern Slingers still alive somehow. Don't know how. A couple of these Kartli Axemen coming in here and chasing off what's left of these Eastern Slingers. So we do still have a couple of units left in the field from either player. So just to recap, the Colchian player and the Macedonian player, same team, going after Bobi, who's playing as the Parthians. And we've got the last unit left in the field by Helvetian Slayer, who's just being taken out. These Levi Thorea Spears being brought down eventually. The mighty Levi Thorea Spears. So in the back lines, we've got an excellent charge coming in here from the Eastern Cataphracts, smashing into the Royal Peltas. If you can take that unit out of the fight, that may prove to be quite useful. And we got another one, a 1-2 punch. Excellent stuff. And it's going to apply a pretty hefty attack in the rear penalty to a lot of these different units. These Eastern Cataphracts, super heavy shock cavalry. They do have a lot of armor, so they will be able to stick around in the fight for a little bit longer. And look at this. A pincer maneuver happening here from Bobi, smashing into them with a trample charge from both sides, absolutely destroying these Colchian nobles and Royal Peltas. It might prove to be a little bit too much. They may just hold on, but we'll see what happens here. No, looks like it was a little bit too much. And Bobi, it seems like Bobi's kind of, wow, oh my god, 416 kills, triple XP chevrons from that Eastern Cataphract there. Insane stuff. Mercenary Summation Horse Archers getting a lot of kills. Eastern Slingers, of course, racking up a lot of kills, but look at these Parthian and Persian Light Archers here. Insane numbers of kills. Bobi doing well. Helvetian Slayer, like look at this, like units that no one ever brings. Royal Thorax Swordsman, even these Camel Spearmen, like you don't see that like pretty much ever. They scare horses, which is pretty cool, but they're a little bit too expensive for what they are. But very entertaining army here. I love it when players bring like these Nubian spearmen and you know, Egyptian slingers. I love it when people kind of stick to the Egyptian kind of themed units. It just looks nice. Even these Egyptian infantry, they look sick. Lots of kills though coming in with these Nubian spearmen. Levi Thoreas getting behind the enemy units and chopping them down. Galatian Royal Guard also getting a lot of kills, double XP chevrons for both, almost 200 kills on both. 9th Legion doing a pretty good job with his Royal Peltas in the end, even though they were severely outmatched. The Thorax Swordsmen didn't really have any target or anything to go after, so they were just kind of like meat shields. Even the Thessalian Cav didn't really have any good targets. Colchian Nobles getting a lot of kills. Look at these Kartli Axemen actually shredding whatever Helvetian Slayer was throwing at them. Must have been the Galatian Swordsman and the Galatian Royal Guard. Eastern Spearmen dying, of course. Excellent stuff. Almost 200 kills on one of these Axemen. That's insane. Noble Blood Cav also doing well. Anyway, thank you so much, Bobi, for throwing that one in. I haven't had a replay from Bobi quite a while, so that's nice to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that battle. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. This is Jujubear signing out. Peace.